In the quiet heart of South Carolina, the life of Clarissa Winchester unfolded with the promise of a bright future. At just 22 years old, she was a beacon of warmth and resilience, known for her unwavering smile even in the face of adversity. Her family, especially her father, was the cornerstone of her world, and she harbored dreams of a life enriched by love and possibility. Amidst the backdrop of youthful ambition and dreams, Clarissa's path crossed with that of Tyler Wilkins, a 21-year-old whose presence would irrevocably alter her life's trajectory. Their initial connection was marked by the fervor typical of young love, a shared vision of a future filled with potential. Yet beneath this veneer of hope, shadows began to gather. As the year 2021 drew to a close, the relationship that once seemed promising began to unravel, giving way to escalating tension. A moment of reckoning arrived on December 2nd of that year when Clarissa, accompanied by her father, returned to the Samile Roadhouse she once shared with Tyler. Her intention was simple: to retrieve her belongings and perhaps reclaim a sense of normalcy. However, the situation devolved into a harrowing confrontation. Tyler, in a moment of rage, brandished a gun and fired at them, a chilling act that left them physically unharmed but emotionally scarred. The swift intervention of the Pickens County Sheriff's Office saw Tyler arrested and charged with attempted murder, domestic violence, and the unlawful possession of a firearm. These charges underscored the perilous volatility that had taken root in their relationship. The judicial system responded with a measure of caution, imposing strict conditions upon Tyler's release on bail. An electronic monitor, a prohibition on firearms, and a mandate to avoid all contact with Clarissa were intended to safeguard her from further harm. Yet, as the calendar turned to a new year, the semblance of safety proved illusory. Clarissa, surrounded by the love and support of her family, endeavored to rebuild her life. But the complexities of human relationships defy simple solutions, and the pull of past connections can be inexorably strong. By mid-2022, despite the legal barriers meant to keep them apart, Clarissa and Tyler found themselves drawn back together, the exact circumstances of their reunion shrouded in mystery. This tragic narrative serves as a poignant reminder of the unpredictable nature of human relationships and the often unseen currents that drive them. In the end, it is a story not only of loss but of the enduring quest for understanding amidst the chaos of life. The tale of Clarissa Winchester invites us to reflect on the fragility of dreams and the profound impact of choices made in moments of vulnerability. It was a tale woven with the threads of hope and despair, of love rekindled against the backdrop of a shadowy past. Clarissa, a young woman of 22 years, stood at the intersection of hope and tragedy, her life intertwined with that of Tyler, a man with whom her relationship had been marked by turbulence that forbade Tyler from contacting Clarissa since January 2022. Yet, despite the weighty conditions of the bail order, Clarissa found herself drawn back into the orbit of their shared history. By the waning weeks of 2022, Clarissa was 6 months pregnant, carrying within her the promise of new life, a son she intended to name Grayson. The allure of a future together proved irresistible, and she moved back with Tyler to the Samile Roadhouse, a place that had once been a refuge, but would soon become the stage for a heart-wrenching tragedy. Their reunion, however, was built upon a precarious foundation, one that could not withstand the strain of unresolved conflict. On the morning of November 9th, 2022, the fragile peace they had constructed shattered irrevocably. Clarissa's father, accustomed to her regular messages, became alarmed when her silence stretched into hours. As her pregnancy advanced, she had remained closely connected to her family, her father's concern growing with every unanswered call. Desperation prompted him to reach out to the authorities, contacting the Pickens County Sheriff's Office to report her missing. The response was immediate. Law enforcement officers, guided by the digital trail left by Clarissa's phone, traced her last known location to the So-Mile Roadhouse. It was the very place where she and Tyler had previously clashed, a setting now steeped in ominous significance. When questioned by officers, Tyler professed ignorance of Clarissa's whereabouts, but the data told a different story, casting a pall of suspicion over his claims. Armed with a search warrant, deputies breached the walls of the roadhouse, uncovering a scene of unimaginable sorrow. In a bedroom, they found Clarissa's lifeless body, her head and neck bearing the brutal marks of a heavy blow. Beside her lay her unborn son, Grayson, a life ended before it had the chance to begin. At 6 months gestation, Clarissa had been denied the joy of hearing her child's first breath, a bitter reality that deepened the tragedy. The revelation sent shockwaves through Pickens County, a community already aware of the couple's fraught history. Those who had harbored hope for a different outcome were left grappling with the devastating news. For Clarissa's family, particularly her father, the loss was profound, a grief that surpassed the limits of language. The path of evidence pointed unwaveringly towards Tyler Wilkins, Clarissa's 21-year-old partner, as the principal suspect. On the very day of the discovery, he was apprehended and charged with her murder, as well as with additional offenses linked to the death of her unborn child. The charges extended to encompass theft and child neglect, a reflection of the severity of the allegations. Yet, Tyler was not the sole figure scrutinized under the harsh light of investigation. As the inquiry deepened, it emerged that 2 of his relatives, Michael and Melissa Burnett, had been present in the home during the time of the incident. Their presence raised unsettling questions, suggesting the possible complicity of silence. Did they bear witness to the events that unfolded and choose to remain mute? In the end, the narrative of Clarissa and Tyler is a poignant reminder of the fragility of human relationships and the perilous dance between hope and despair. It underscores the profound impact of choices made in moments of vulnerability and the enduring quest for redemption amidst the shadows of past mistakes. As the community seeks to heal, the story serves as an enduring testament to the complexities of the human heart and the inexorable march of justice. In the quiet stillness of a late November day in the year 2022, the somber reality of a tragic sequence of events began to unfold. Michael and Melissa Burnett found themselves at the center of a maelstrom, arrested and charged as accessories after the fact. Their alleged inaction in the face of a grave situation added new layers of complexity to an already intricate case. Investigators were convinced that they had knowledge of the grim events that transpired, yet chose to remain silent, failing to seek help or intervention. The case revolved around the tragic demise of Clarissa Winchester, a young woman whose life, along with that of her unborn child, was brutally cut short. Public records offered no clear narrative of the Burnett's actions or inactions, but their involvement hinted at a deeper entanglement within the web of events. The investigation was conducted with meticulous precision, a testament to the relentless pursuit of truth by the authorities. Critical evidence began to weave together the story. Clarissa's mobile phone data became a pivotal element, pinpointing her last known location at the So-Mile Roadhouse. Inside the confines of her home, physical evidence spoke volumes. The injuries inflicted upon Clarissa's head and neck were severe, revealing the viciousness of the assault that marked her final moments. Her unborn son, Grayson, bore no signs of direct physical trauma, suggesting that his fate was inextricably linked to the violence endured by his mother. The sheriff's office, with unwavering determination, scrutinized every detail, refusing to overlook even the smallest piece of evidence. This was not merely a case of identifying a perpetrator. It was a quest for justice on behalf of a young woman and her unborn child, whose futures had been so ruthlessly stolen. By September of 2024, the people of Pickens County were deeply invested in the unfolding investigation into Clarissa Winchester's death. It was a case that had captured the community's attention and empathy, reaching a pivotal moment when Tyler Wilkins, the 21-year-old at the epicenter of this tragedy, was finally called to account for his actions in a court of law. On the 26th of September 2024, Tyler Wilkins faced a courtroom heavy with emotion. He pleaded guilty to charges of murder, first-degree assault and battery, and possession of a weapon during a violent crime, all linked to Clarissa's death. The courtroom was a theater of grief as the events were recounted in chilling detail. The object that ended Clarissa's life, the death of her unborn son, and the shattered lives left in their wake cast a long shadow over the proceedings. The judge delivered a sentence that mirrored the gravity of the crimes: 45 years for murder, 10 years for assault, and 5 years for weapon possession during a violent crime. Tyler Wilkins was sentenced to serve a total of 45 years in prison, with all sentences to run concurrently. Yet even as justice was served, it could not bring back the life that was lost. Clarissa's father, her friends, and her community were left to honor her memory, cherishing the woman she was, and mourning the mother she would never become. Though Tyler's guilty plea acknowledged his culpability, it failed to illuminate the reasons behind the tragic spiral of events. The involvement of his relatives, Michael and Melissa Burnett, charged as accessories, only deepened the enigma. As the dust settled on this somber chapter, the community was left grappling with the haunting question of why such a tragedy had to occur and what could have been done to prevent it. In the coconut heal the wounds of the heart. The legacy of those who have been lost lives on in the memories of those who loved them, a poignant reminder that even amidst the darkest of chapters, the human spirit endures. In the heart of South Carolina, a tale of silence and mystery unfolds, weaving through the fabric of a small community and leaving an indelible mark on those left behind. It is a story of unanswered cries and a disappearance that haunts the rolling landscapes of Traveler's Rest, Marietta. At its core lies the unsettling case of Clarissa Winchester, a victim whose ordeal was witnessed by the very kin who should have been her protectors. The Burnetts, Tyler Wilkins' aunt and uncle, found themselves in the eerie confines of the So-Mile Roadhouse as Clarissa's desperate cries for help pierced the night. For 2 interminable hours, her pleas echoed, yet their response was a chilling silence, a silence that would resonate with the echoes of what transpired that fateful night. Yet the shadows of this tale stretch further, casting a long and somber shadow over another unresolved mystery: the vanishing of 19-year-old Jordan Nibbling. Her disappearance carved a void filled with questions and heartache, a mystery that South Carolina has yet to unravel. With a promising life ahead, Jordan vanished without a trace, leaving behind only the ache of loss and the whispers of what might have been. The year was 2020, a year that would etch itself into the annals of time for Jordan's family. On an unassuming October day, she set out in a borrowed car, her intentions as mundane as running errands. The car, however, would betray her, faltering on the desolate stretch of Old White Horse Road, a place both familiar and foreboding. In her moment of need, she reached out, calling upon Tyler Wilkins, a figure entwined with her past, a presence both comforting and complicated. Their history was a tapestry of highs and lows, a relationship known to ed her to dial his number in her moment of distress. That call, made on the cool evening of October 10th, would be the last verifiable contact anyone had with him. Mary Tucker, Jordan's adoptive stepmother, felt the weight of that silence with every unanswered call, every unreturned message. Her instincts screamed that something was amiss, a mother's intuition that defied the notion that Jordan had simply run away. Though some speculated about her struggles with past demons, Mary knew this time was different. This was not a flight, but a disappearance shrouded in ominous uncertainty. As the days turned to weeks, the search for Jordan began, driven by a community's resolve and a family's desperate hope. Yet, the trail remained elusive, the answers obscured by the passage of time and the silence of those who might hold the key. In the quiet moments when the world seemed to pause, the question lingered: how could someone so vibrant, so full of life, simply cease to be? In this narrative of silence and loss, we are reminded of the fragility of trust and the haunting power of the unknown. The story of Jordan Nibbling is a testament to the enduring quest for truth, a journey that continues in the hearts of those who refuse to forget. As we ponder the mysteries that life presents, we are called to listen to the silences, to seek the unseen, and to find meaning in the spaces between the known and the unknown. In the serene yet rugged landscape of Greenville County, a mystery unfolded that would grip the hearts and minds of all who heard it. The story of Jordan, a young woman striving to piece together the fragments of her life, took an unexpected turn when she vanished without a trace. Her sudden disappearance seemed illogical to those who knew her, as she had been diligently working towards a brighter future. The Greenville County Sheriff's Office was swift in their response, launching an investigation into her last known whereabouts. Their first significant clue was Jordan's abandoned vehicle, found stranded along Old Whitehorse Road. It was here that the investigation began to unravel the threads of a complex and unsettling narrative. The car, a silent witness to her last moments, bore no immediate answers, but it did confirm one crucial detail: a call had been made to Tyler Wilkins. When authorities approached Tyler, his responses were evasive and unconvincing. He claimed ignorance of Jordan's whereabouts, though he admitted to having spoken to her on that fateful day. His reluctance to provide further details only deepened the mystery, casting a shadow over his role in Jordan's disappearance. Despite the growing suspicion, the lack of tangible evidence posed a significant challenge. The absence of a body, a crime scene, or even Jordan's cell phone left investigators with little to act upon. Determined to uncover the truth, the sheriff's office expanded their search. They canvassed neighborhoods, interviewed residents, and retraced Jordan's usual routes through Marietta and Travelers Rest. Her digital footprint was scrutinized, from social media to her workplace at Hardee's. Yet each potential lead faded into obscurity. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, as friends and family watched helplessly, their hopes ebbing away with each passing day. A critical factor in the delay of reporting Jordan's disappearance was her history of running away, a past that now haunted the present investigation. This crucial time lost meant that by the time the full force of the sheriff's office was mobilized, the trail had already cooled. Attention inevitably returned to Tyler Wilkins. His relationship with Jordan was known to be tumultuous, characterized by frequent disputes and reconciliations. Although he was not directly implicated in any criminal activity, the nature of their interactions cast a lingering doubt over his innocence. The sheriff's office remained undeterred, executing over 100 search warrants in the vicinity of Old Whitehorse Road. They scoured homes, forests, and fields, leaving no stone unturned in their quest for answers. The case gained national prominence in 2022 when it was featured on In Pursuit with John Walsh, a television program dedicated to missing persons and fugitives. The broadcast brought Jordan's plight to a wider audience, amplifying her mother's heartfelt plea for information. Mary Tucker spoke of her daughter's infectious laughter, her resilience, and her unwavering resolve to improve her life. The national spotlight invigorated the investigation, yet no significant breakthroughs emerged. As the calendar turned to the end of 2022, the enigma of Jordan's disappearance remained unsolved. Despite exhaustive efforts, Greenville County found itself with no concrete answers. The community, buoyed by hope and driven by a collective desire for closure, continued to hold vigil. Jordan's story, a testament to the enduring mystery of the human condition, serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the relentless pursuit of truth, even in the face of overwhelming uncertainty. In November of the year 2022, a dramatic twist in an unrelated case brought Jordan's haunting narrative back into the glaring light of public scrutiny. On the 9th day of that month, Tyler Wilkins was apprehended in connection with the tragic demise of Clarissa Winchester in the quiet corners of Pickens County. For those who had diligently tracked the threads of Jordan's mysterious disappearance, Tyler's arrest was nothing short of a jolt, a revelation that sent ripples through the community Aor all along. The authorities wasted no time. Interrogations began, probing Tyler's involvement with Jordan, who had reached out to him for assistance when her car faltered on the desolate stretch of Old White Horse Road. His prior evasive answers now appeared shrouded in a fog of suspicion, and his association with another grave crime cast a long shadow over his past deeds. The Greenville County Sheriff's Office, with renewed vigor, revisited Jordan's case, their focus now sharply honed on Tyler's possible role in her vanishing. Now incarcerated for another heinous act, Tyler stood at a crossroads, both a danger to society and a potential beacon of truth. Could he unlock the enigma that had tormented Jordan's family and community for so long? For Mary Tucker, Jordan's mother, who had campaigned relentlessly for her daughter's cause, Tyler's arrest was a flicker of hope amidst the dark uncertainty. She passionately urged the authorities to delve deeper into Tyler's connection to Jordan, voicing her plea through local media channels. As whispers and conjectures swirled through the community, the anticipation of unearthing long-buried truths grew palpable. Investigators meticulously combed through old evidence, sought out fresh witnesses, and scrutinized Tyler's activities from the fateful October of 2020. All efforts converged on the Sawmill Roadhouse, Tyler's erstwhile residence. Did this place harbor the secrets to Jordan's fate all along? The sheriff's office understood that the Roadhouse might be critical in unraveling this mystery, yet they were acutely aware that revelations would not manifest overnight. Tyler's entanglement in the Clarissa Winchester case had indeed thrust Jordan's story back into the limelight. But would it finally illuminate the path to the truth that her family had so desperately sought? In a staggering development in April of 2025, the investigation veered sharply. Tyler Wilkins, now aged 24 and serving a monumental 45-year sentence for Clarissa's murder, confessed to the police. He admitted to the brutal act that took place in October 2020. He had slain Jordan with a knife. This admission came while he was already behind bars for his previous crime, unveiling a chilling truth that had evaded the grasp of justice for nearly half a decade. The relentless search for answers had spanned 5 long years, a burden shouldered by Jordan's family, the Greenville County Sheriff's Office, and the local populace. But the toll had been profound. Tyler's confession peeled back the layers of horror. He recounted meeting Jordan on the 10th of October, 2020, responding to her plea for help as her vehicle lay stranded. What should have been a straightforward act of rescue spiraled into a deadly encounter. Tyler confessed to stabbing Jordan, yet the motive remained an enigma, unreported by the media, leaving a void that even his admission could not fill. Thus, the narrative of Jordan's disappearance finds its somber conclusion, not in the resolution of a mystery, but in the revelation of human darkness. It serves as a poignant reminder of the fragile threads that bind fate and the inexorable quest for justice, which, though delayed, remains undeterred. In the quiet enclave of Greenville County, a chilling narrative unfolded, casting a long shadow over the community and its sense of safety. The sheriff's office swiftly charged Tyler with murder and possession of a weapon during a violent crime, but a haunting question lingered. Where was the body of the young woman named Jordan? Despite the gravity of the charges, Tyler remained obstinately silent on the whereabouts of Jordan's remains, leaving investigators grappling with an incomplete puzzle. The lack of transparency from Tyler not only obstructed the path to justice, but also prolonged the suffering of Jordan's family, who yearned for closure. The search for Jordan became a relentless pursuit of truth, with detectives scouring landscapes tied to Tyler's history, particularly near Old Whitehorse Road, a place etched with memories and secrets. Each step forward in the investigation, such as Tyler's eventual confession, was bittersweet. It offered answers, yet simultaneously deepened the heartache for those left behind. For Mary Tucker, Jordan's stepmother, Tyler's admission was a double-edged sword. It provided clarity after years of uncertainty, yet without Jordan's body, the case felt painfully unresolved. Mary became a beacon of resilience, tirelessly sharing Jordan's story and urging those with knowledge to break their silence. Sheriff Hobart Lewis, embodying the community's resolve, assured that the quest for Jordan would persist until she was found, underlining an unwavering dedication to justice and truth. The cases of Clarissa Winchester and Jordan stand as somber reminders of lives interrupted and the enduring impact of violence. They are intricately interwoven by sorrow, loss, and a shared demand for answers, a reminder of the human capacity for both destruction and the relentless pursuit of justice.